Yeah.
All right. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do just a quick overview of everything going on for Performance Task 2 real quick. Talk about some of the themes that have been identified already, and then we're gonna focus in on the very first of the sources. Have you guys had a chance to look at any of those yet?
Not really.
Just no.
That's fine.
No, well, last week I was planning to take a break after all of that meetings and all of that stuff. And when it's the break over, yesterday I had a really tough day because I had to do 3 calls, one from English, the second one from biology, and third one from Spanish. And it's
Oof.
just like I didn't have any time to take a break. And
Sorry.
Monday is just a holiday for everyone, so I decided to take a break too. Then.
Understandable. Well, the first source is on urban evolution. And the way that the second semester is going to be laid out, each week you're going to have one kind of content-based review. So like in the first week, it'll be just an overview of the IRR and TMP, and then just a refresher on writing research questions. And then an activity to do with your group to get you started on your research question for that. But then there will also be one of these live lessons and just a quick, easy quiz on the document. So that way, if you're doing everything every week, you are starting to read these sources at least one time before we get into performance task number 2. Okay? And then before I give you that, I already gave you guys this, right? So you should have this.
Yes.
So these are kind of the questions that we are going to be looking at about this first article or source. This one happens to be an article, but they aren't all articles. And then I'm also going to give you this. And so this is something that you can use long term. You do not have to use this. This is not something that you are going to turn into me. But this is something that you can use in addition to that other handout to help you, kind of codify and organize your thoughts as you're reading these different sources and try to make these connections between them. Okay? So you've got your topic, what the different arguments that are made in the article are, what some possible themes might be. So remember, you have to identify a theme across sources and connect the sources to one another.
Now, for a point to make, is this semester going to go like last semester where we do our TMP and IRRs based on discursive essay format?
No. And in fact, so they are very similar to that. You do have the IRR is basically a discursive essay, but it's specific to the College Board's format for it. And then the IWA is an argumentative essay. But I've already made a plan with the E-team to go back this summer, now that we have a better understanding of what the end result needs to look like. And we're going to revamp some of those lessons that you did. And I want to take out basically anything that doesn't help you to write it the way that the College Board wants.
Okay, yeah, because I was noticing, with that, I was noticing, last semester we did, we kind of did addressing all the sides, which was discursive format, obviously addressing what some viewpoints are, if they're for it, or other viewpoints are against. So is this semester just going to be, where we pick a side in its argumentative format?
Well, you're going to do both this semester, remember. So you write both the IRR and the WA. Anytime you get a source, from the College Board, whether it's for Part 2 or for the EOCs, you have to be analyzing the argument of it and its perspective. So that was the major thing that didn't happen with the mock IRRs. And I'm allowed to say that. I'm not allowed to comment on what's happening with current IRRs. But expect some more activities this semester to help you write about the documents better.
Okay.
Okay?
So if there's a need and like kind of help from you, we can just like ask about and give us example from like previous project.
Yeah. So, like, if I notice that everyone is failing to do a certain thing that I know that they need to do and include in their papers, I can't say, hey, Alex, you need to start doing this in your paper. Here's where you didn't do it. But I can say, I've noticed that we as a class need to work on this, and then make sure that there's a lesson on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kinda.
So they don't want us giving you direct feedback on things, I think, because they are concerned that teachers will get obsessed with you guys passing the test and then just over help. And so then it's not you guys doing it, it's the teacher basically helping you to do it, or even doing it for you.
I remember a Spanish teacher who is always in middle school helping me do assignments and not even realizing that she's the one who's doing the assignment.
Yeah. Well, they want to avoid those kinds of situations, so instead of being able to offer a little bit of help and then hoping that we do it the right way, apparently we now can just not offer any.
Yeah, no, like you said, how every week we're going to be presented a source, or like you said, like week 1 was like something with urban. Is that going to be similar to how we had it last semester, where it would give us like we had that whole module on water, and then we had the other module in discursive parts on the court case or whatnot that was on like the court hearing, and then we'd write about that?
No, this semester is going to be much less. Like there's literally just 1 page of a content review,
Okay.
and a live lesson and quiz on the source of the week. All of the rest of the time, you guys are working, whether it's on your IRR in the first 8 weeks or so, or on your IWA for the next 6 or 7 weeks.
Okay.
I think it's 7 weeks for each one, and then the last couple of weeks are just practice for the EOC.
Okay. And is the IWA similar the TMP, but for this semester?
So the IWA is your individual written argument. It's your argumentative essay, so it's similar to the IRR, but in that argumentative format.
Argumentative, okay.
And then your IMP is your individual multimedia presentation, which is like the TMP, but it's just you.
Oh, so we're all doing it individually.
Right, I'm confused.
Yeah.
Like you said that we're gonna do another project together, but then
Yeah.
you said that we're gonna do individual. Like
Correct.
so, like we
Yes.
are doing first. We are in this segment. We are doing one project together, and then we're gonna do another project by ourselves.
Correct.
Okay. So we do have a team. Do you know the name of that? If we're all, is it going to be like where we all present at the same time? Similar to how we had it?
Yeah, it's the exact same thing that you guys did for the mock.
Okay.
It's just this one counts and I can't give you feedback.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So we technically have 4 things then. We have the IRR, the IWR, the IMP, and then the team project.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
IMP
These
is
sources-
individual.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
IMP is like TMP but individual, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You present individually.
Yeah. And so these sources that we're doing, these are from the College Board, and they are for performance task number 2.
Okay.
When are we gonna start performance task?
When are we going to start what?
Performance task after the individual TMP and IRR, or like when do we start?
So we're doing performance task 1 between now and like 6 weeks from now. And then we will start performance task 2. You'll start working on it then. But right now, just once per week for an hour, I'm going to be going over some of these documents and stuff. These are optional sessions, but so you can either attend them now or watch the recordings later to go over them. But we're basically just getting a head start on performance task 2.
Robert, I was about to text you.
Yeah, I completely forgot about this. And then I looked in here, and then I saw there were people in the class lounge. I was like, oh, sorry for interrupting.
Not a problem. I'm going to put the document here in the announcements, the channel on Discord.
Okay.
Still kind of confused with father.
So we're basically going to have an IRR. So generally just what we did last semester, except this semester he can't give us feedback like he did for last semester. And then we have the IWA, which is going to be like, well, it's still essay format, except you're not doing discursive. So discursive was both sides of analyzing both sides, and then the IWA is going to be essay still, so similar in that way, but it's going to be an argumentative essay rather than discursive. And then the IMP is an individual presentation you present solo. So you do you make a presentation, do it yourself, and present it yourself. So similar to how, like, if you were practicing your own part for the mock, it would just be your own part and you wouldn't have to worry about anyone else. And then we have a team presentation together, not a mock version, a real version where it's sent once and then he can't give us feedback. And that's what we present as a group, similar to how we did the mock, except this time it's we don't get feedback and it's one shot at it.
You said that we're gonna do the together presentation. All of us gonna do the same presentation together, but in the end, like.
So I don't know. That's something I also did want to ask him. Are we doing it all on the same topic, or is it going to be a different topic for each thing?
So from now on, the topics are your own.
Okay.
You as a group need to be this week discussing what you guys might want to do for your topics. And then your IWA, that's entirely up to you.
Okay, so is anything so for example, like how we did for the mocks, we did each of our mock IRRs on one part, and then our TMP composed of all the parts. Is it going to be like that this semester where we have the our IRRs all like on the similar topic, and then but we branch out, and then we have our TMP or not our team presentation on that same topic?
Yes.
Okay. But then the IWA and the IMP are those going to be the same topics as well, but different?
No, you can choose whatever topic you want for that. They're the same topic together. Like your IWA and IMP are on the same thing.
Okay, so those correlate together. Okay, got it. So
yeah.
So the IMP and then the IWA correlate to the same topic, even though the IWA is going to be argumentative, and then your IMP will be a presentation of the topic, and then
it'll
but those
be a
will be
presentation
separate
of your
from
argument.
Yes, and then but those will be separate from what we do as a group, right?
Correct.
With okay, got it, perfect. So it's like similar. It's different than last semester, but then it's similar in a way, since we do still have to have that group work.
Right.
Okay. That makes much more sense now.
I feel like TV is trying to launch Cyberpunk.
All right. So what I'm gonna do now is also add a couple of additional articles, because you're going to use the sources that you get, but you're also going to bring in your own research. And so these are just some quick, easy, additional sources that have been found on these topics, just to kind of supplement your understanding of what's
So
happening
yeah,
in the source.
one question I did have, and I hope I'm still able to ask this, but as far as like credibility sources, because I know the credibility tier list and identifying credible sources goes a long way for how the evidence is accumulated and then presented, whether that's in an essay format or in a presentation format. To get the highest points in those zones, and this goes for like everything that most people might have submitted or realized, does that mean having every single source that you used be from a tier 1 or 2, indicating like something from like that you researched based on the edus and .govs, and every source that you found or used in your writing or presentation is from that?
So if you look at the rubric, the criteria is that it's not a certain number, right? It's not like 5 of 10 sources must be blah, blah, blah. It's a little bit more vague than that. But the consensus is from the training and from other teachers and stuff that the more of those are those tier 1 and 2 credible sources, then the higher you score in that section on using credible sources.
Okay, yeah, because that's what because when I went through like a lot of them, I'm completely fine with how I did on everything. I feel like I did amazing with it, but I was just wondering how I can improve on that for this semester going forward, because I did notice I wanted to see how that would be possible to score the highest points in that section.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to do it. And, like I said earlier, everybody across the board scored in those 2 sections about the sources.
Yeah.
They nobody scored the highest points in those, and that is obviously a reflection on the teacher, not on the students. If everyone in the class doesn't do or understand something, that's my failing. If it was 1 or 2, they just didn't get it. So that's why we're going to work on that a lot more this semester.
Yeah, because I was like especially with sources, like I get like there is a high difference between a highly credible source versus a source that's not credible at all. I just wanted to see like what is viable and what do you need in order to score that maximum amount of points.
Well, and the big issue wasn't so much the credibility. Most people did that fine. It was more about not explicitly addressing and analyzing the sources. So everybody did a good job on getting research, using the research to support their argument, but not then critiquing and analyzing the argument of the source itself. So you have to go and evaluate the argument in your paper. You have to say whether you have to explicitly tell us why it is credible or not, or why that evidence is good evidence or bad evidence, or and then you have to put them into conversation with another. You have to, organize it so that if one person says it one way, but there's another guy who's saying it another way, you're pointing that out, right? And you're like, okay, author A says blah, blah, blah about this, but author B, who, does their research in a completely different university or is in the private setting, they say blah, blah, blah. And there's a discontinuity, discontinuity, lack of continuity, disconnect between these sources. So the body of research is split over this issue, that kind of stuff.
That makes more sense, because I was wondering, so for like an example, if you had a source that maybe talked about like a different view than what you're aiming for at your argument, even if it was credible, that's kind of what you're missing there, because it needs to be more correlated information when you're evaluating.
We share the planet with an impressive diversity.
Sorry, that just started auto-playing on another screen. But yeah, so we are going to dive into that. These sources do that kind of naturally. They present common themes, but different takes on it. And different, some of them are scientific articles. One of them is a memoir. There's a photograph. So lots of different avenues. And so when you write about it, you're going to put those into conversation with one another, right? You're going to talk about how the scientific take on resilience is very different from how Nelson Mandela wrote about it from a personal and emotional kind of context, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that really is the big overarching theme of all of these documents, as you're going to see. So I've decided, I gave you guys those things, and I gave you some other articles on the topic of evolution. So this week, we're just going to do this overview kind of stuff that we've been doing. And then over the course of this week, when you get the chance, because there is a quiz, it's like a simple multiple choice, all the answers are in here kind of stuff. But you'll read the article. So then next week, when we get together, the whole thing will be us just tearing this apart, okay? And critiquing and analyzing this article in particular. But I want to give you guys the chance to actually read it first. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you said we don't have access to the second semester yet? Because I've got it pulled up and I only see...
No, I do. So you're going to want to go into... I can explain this. So you're going to want to go into My Pasco Connect, and then or just get into My Learning first.
Yeah, okay.
As every student should for this class. And then on your dashboard, it's actually going to be a separate thing. It's still going to be titled AP Seminar. But for me, like my first one, since I was first enrolled in this class, like way before school started, it appears at the very top, first thing on my dashboard. And that was for semester A, or as it's titled, segment A. So you're going to want to scroll down until you see another one. There's going to be another one that says AP Capstone Seminar, but this time it says Seg B, or segment B. And when you click on that, it should open an entire new Canvas course. And you should have the modules open, same formatting, except this time it's all fresh. It's like a new course, and except this is for semester 2, not semester 1.
Yeah, I've got the Ledford Live Lesson Room, and I've got segment A, but I don't see segment B uploaded to my dashboard.
Okay, I have segment A and B. For me, B is displaying as just a red. Like there's no like front page of it. It's just a red page for me. I click on it, and then it opens the course, and I do have week 0. Which, as he said, oh wait, now I have week 1, perfect. Okay, so is week 0 what you said, what we're doing this week, which is just the overview?
Well, that overview stuff is all the just introduction stuff from the last module. We put it into every course because, depending on the class, we will get new students at the midterm, so they never see it in the first time. So you guys just need to go in and for like updating your contact information, just say completed in first semester. That's all you got to put, and then you can just move on. The only things that are different in there, now you guys are going to sign up for the AP Digital Portfolio. Last semester I had you do classroom and the exam. Now you need to sign up for the portfolio. So there is one page about that. That's just an easy 100 points. And then I just modified the Quest Framework page to be reviewing it rather than
because we did focus on a lot of that stuff last semester.
Yeah, so I do want anyone who does see it to get started on module 1. What all do you see in the week 1?
Okay, so for mine, earlier today I had like this morning I checked, and I'm not sure if it was up ASAP in the morning. I think it might have been I did say something about that. Yeah, okay, so early this morning it was up. Early this morning when I checked. And then when I went in, there was nothing really displayed. The grade book was all glitchy. It had like a mix of the same assignments from last year. It was like all messed up. It had like some stuff that I already completed from semester 1.
Okay.
And then after that, I checked a few hours later, and it was back to normal. And it only displayed week 0. And then I just refreshed now, and now it displays week 0 and week 1. And week 1 is the beginning of Unit 4, which I think is what you were talking about read the source, the IRR and TMP overview, and then there's a quiz in there, and then also week 1 post.
Okay, but you don't see 4.03 performance task number 1 quiz or 4.04A live lesson number 1 reflection submission?
It says 4.04B Part 2 Source A Post Live Lesson Quiz. There is no 4.03. There's no 4.03.
Okay. I'll be posting those here in just a few minutes. I spent today going in and deleting a lot of those things that were duplicates from last semester.
Yeah, that's what I noticed this morning. A lot of it was like, I don't know what happened with it. It was just a little glitched.
Yeah,
messed
everything
up.
from semester 1 got imported into semester 2 as well.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's not good.
Which, for some of it, is fine because I'm reusing some of that content for your reviews.
Yeah.
And, taking out the assignment parts of it, discussion board posts and that kind of stuff, but reusing the information.
Yeah, I was going to ask if we had access to those tools or information from the previous modules.
Yeah, I'm bringing over everything that is still relevant. So that'll be in those weekly content review things that you do.
Okay.
So like next week is all about argumentation and crafting an argument.
Awesome.
So should I be able to access the next segment sometime this week? Or do I have to do something?
Well, yes, you have to do one major thing, and that is to finish semester 1.
Yeah, I've finished everything.
No.
Double check that, because I had everything finished like a week or two before. Like I was ready for segment 2. The day we finished, I submitted the TMP and the IRRs together, which was the final thing you were supposed to submit in semester 1, I think.
Yeah,
and then didn't get rolled out until today. So
yeah, they only enroll students on Tuesdays, and then even then, you guys, those of you who came to semester 2, weren't there for me yesterday. I didn't see you, but then you were all there this morning. So I guess it took them a while. But Robert, if you finish everything this week, I get your grade issued, and then you'll start next Tuesday.
Yeah, I've got everything submitted. It just needs to be graded.
Okay. Well, it cleared out my grading queue at like 10 o'clock this morning, so anything since then I probably haven't graded.
Okay.
But yeah. But Alex, be on the lookout. There will be just another quick multiple choice quiz on performance task number 1. It's like, what is an IRR? That kind of
yeah,
stuff.
okay. And is that for 4.03? Because I see 4.00 Unit 4 overview, so the overview. Then 4.01 Week 1 content review, which is writing research questions. And then it goes into 4.02A, Performance Task 1 IRR overview. Then 4.02B, which is obviously Performance Task 1 PMP overview. So those are all the overviews. And then it skips ahead to 4.04B, Part 2 Source A, Post Live Lesson Quiz. So it skips 4.03 entirely. And then it goes on to 4.05, Group Work, Week 1 Post, and then 4.06, End of Week 1 Reflection Summary.
Yep. And, yeah. So you'll see 2 more things pop up. One of them is just a reflection on the live lesson for the week, and then that quiz that I was just talking about.
Now, is this the live lesson for the week that we're doing right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although,
and this is just, I don't know how that would kind of count, because it does say post-live lesson quiz.
Yeah, the quiz is on Source A, so let's just go ahead and don't do that reflection until after you have attended next week's.
Okay, so that source we're breaking down next Wednesday.
Yeah, because there's one for each of the 7 sources, so we'll just do.
Okay, so that would be 4.04B Part 2 Source A Post Live Lesson Quiz, and that's for next week's live lesson.
Yep, and you'll do a reflection then as well.
So yeah, for anyone, we can make a note just to skip over that, because that will be for next week after we analyze and break down the source.
Yep.
Awesome.
If I remember correctly, I think last time we were in call, you talked about there being a quiz about how our group worked together, or if we had any comments about our group mates. Is that in semester 2?
It will be, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't see it in semester 1.
Yeah, for the reflection, for the final week's reflection for semester 1, you could have included that, but yeah, there is probably going to be something about that for this semester. But even for me, I think in the group, the group post for the final week and then the individual reflection, you're allowed to post about and what you think about the group work and how the process went.
Right.
Mr. Alfred, just to make sure, we are still gonna do our thing with together, new project, but at the same
Yes.
time, we have to do a thing that was in the course.
So basically, before we have the EOC, he did say it's less like stuff like last semester we had module 1, which was all on the water thing, and then we had module 2, which was all those like videos and all that stuff
We're still gonna
up
do
to
that.
the discursive essay. So this semester we have, before the EOC, which is in early May, if I'm correct, we have an IRR to complete, which is going to be same format as we did for the mock IRR, except this time it's the real IRR. So we do the discursive format and we do that on that's going to be correlating to our group works topic. So after we choose a topic, then that's when we would start working on that. And then that's going to correlate to our group's TMP, which is not the mock TMP, it's the real TMP. And that's the one that we present all together, just like we did last semester, or for semester 1. And then that would be our team presentation that we do on the topic that we have shared with our IRRs. And then additionally, for this semester, we have our IWA and our IMP. Now those are going to be each for individual person. Each individual person will have that. The IWA will not be the same format as the IRR. The IWA is going to be your individual written argumentative essay type of thing. So you're choosing your own topic that's separate from what we're doing as a group. So you, depending on how they overlap, you might be doing 2 things at once, or we might be doing one before the other. But your IWA is going to be on a different topic, and it's going to be what you individually choose, and that you're going to write an argumentative essay on that in the argumentative style. And then your IMP, which is going to be your individual multimedia presentation, is going to be a presentation you do yourself, so solo or one person, and you present that information similar to how you would, and you're going to connect that with what you have on your IWA. So those are going to share the same topic together, except you're doing that all yourself.
I have asked about the course. Do I still have to do the course? The one that
the coursework, if there's coursework going through the weeks, yes, you will. I mean, it's going to be just keep come and go as you see the work pop up. So there probably will be some stuff in line, but he mentioned it's not like we had it where we had one full semester on the water and then second full module on the court case.
So this week we get just making sure about previous segment and doing the test.
So yes, what I have posted right now, and I think I'm all caught up with everything. I did complete everything in semester 1 from the looks of it. From what I have up, and this is what I think every other student who completed everything should have up if they got enrolled. I have up all of week 0, which is introduction. So that's similar to like some carried stuff over from last semester, except it's like updating contact info as he explained, and then except at the bottom you have that sign up for the AP portfolio. So that's week 0, so you're expected to do that. And then week 1, which is going to be between this week and next week, is basically on the overview or review, since we already did it, on the IRR and TMP. And then there is that source addressing that he said wait till next Wednesday, because next Wednesday's live lesson will cover the source that is in the live lesson for 4.04B. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I just realized that I wasn't sharing my screen this whole time. But can you guys see this? This is what you should see now in semester 2. This introduction module, and then this is week 1. I'm going to post these here in a few minutes.
Those 2 are the only 2 things. Yep, I see everything else except those 2 that aren't in green.
Yep, and then down here you see how I'm stealing the stuff from last semester, putting it into place to where it'll work into everything else.
Oh.
But each week is going to be very similar. There's going to be a content review, the live lesson, and you'll do a reflection, and I will probably have a quiz, just a quick quiz on the source, your group post for your TMP, and your individual reflection, just like you had last semester. And that's what you'll do each weekly module until we get to week 7. This is when your IRR and TMP stuff will happen. Okay? like we did last week. And then in week 8, you guys start your IWA, IMP, and I'm actually blanking on what the OD even stands for. I have no idea what that is. But
Okay, so we should probably, is this considered, since next week's live lesson is correlating to week 1, so we have about 7 weeks between this week and next week for our IRR and TMP. So about the same time we had for last semester,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah, you have roughly a little bit more.
Okay.
Although we used some of that extra time to give you extra for the mock.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So in theory, we would have been in week 1 2 weeks ago now. But
are we still going to end up finishing in time for the EOC, or is that just going to cut down our review time a little bit if we do finish up a week or two?
If you guys take a little bit longer, all 4 of those parts, IWA, IMP, IRR, TMP, everything has to be uploaded as the final draft to Digital Portfolio by 11:59 p.m. on April 31st. So the stroke of midnight on May 1st, it won't let you submit it anymore, and you cannot have it graded at all. So, that is that. If you take until then, you take until then. But, yeah. Yeah,
so will the end of the coursework for week, assuming there's 7 and then 7 weeks for this, and then is there 7 weeks for the IWA and IMP as well?
Yes. Yeah, so you go to week 14, that's when you turn these things in. And then...
After that, it's just EOC reviews?
OD is oral defense, individual oral defense. So just like with your TMP, I asked you guys each a question at the end. When you do your IMP, I ask each of you 2 questions. Individually.
So are we presenting it individually, like on an individual call, one-on-one?
Yep. Well, no. I'm going to schedule a day, and you guys are going to do these in a live lesson for whoever wants to come.
Okay, and are they're supposed to be our own topic? Do they have to share a topic with anyone else, or just separate?
Nope, just separate. I mean, you might randomly choose the same topic as somebody else, but,
No, yes, so for one question for the oral defense, so you said that's 2 questions. Are you asking it about a different, so are we so even though we're doing it individually, we're still supposed to know what the other people are doing?
No, the questions will be just based on your
what
work.
you presented?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Perfect.
Yeah,
I was a little confused what that was.
When we get to performance task 2 in the course in week 8, there will be sample questions, just like there were for the IRR and TMP.
Perfect. Okay, good. Because I was a little confused on how we're supposed to be doing that.
Yeah, and one thing to note in this IRR overview, really the only thing that changed in this or the TMP overview is that this document here, remember I gave you a set of samples and commentaries? This is a new one. This is another one from the year before. So you now have twice as many examples to look at of, good papers and what they did right and everything.
Okay, now jumping back for the one question I had that I asked a few days ago, I think. So for that very first, because I know 1.35 or whatever that one on water was, that was our very first just normal essay we did. And then for module 2, which was on the court case, where we read and did all that information, and then we wrote up a discursive essay. For the number 1 submission, was it like you said with the teacher grading, how it was just because when I did that, I was just wanted to know how I could perfect to get the high scoring in all of them. And when I kind of read over it, I was a little confused on like what I had to change up and what I had to do more than what I already submitted. Because that's a fairly, like, I got middle for everything on that assignment, which brought my grade down 10 points out of the 30 that was scored from it.
Probably right down from a 99 to a 98 in the class?
Yeah, like I was just asking, like, is there, like, what was the preference for the scoring on that?
The problem was the rubric for the most part. Trying to get you guys to write an essay in the style of the discursive essay for the course, like for the IRR style kind of paper, without having gone into what exactly we were looking for. The rubric just didn't fit very well, which is why the weight of it in the class is so low.
Yeah, because I don't mind it. I just wanted to know like what made it like the score for the middle for everything. Like, was that just a generic scoring for what everyone got since it was the first submission?
Yeah, since the rubric didn't align very well with what the instructions asked of you.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So instead of just giving everybody, a fake artificial high grade on it, I scored it as if the rubric were what you were being asked for, but then I just changed the weight of that assignment to be minuscule.
Okay.
So it's like worth less than a homework assignment.
That makes more sense too, because yes, over time we did it correlated more to what we needed in the IRR, and that makes more sense.
Right, and so that's one of the ones that we flagged to realign this summer.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because I was just a little confused. Like, I thought it was if I did something wrong individually, or if it was just in general, if it didn't align or not. But yeah, I'm glad that question got answered now.
Yep. All right, not a problem. And I'm glad you asked it, out loud. It was easier to figure out what you were asking this way.
Yeah.
And therefore easier to answer. All right, so as you can see here in the announcements area of the text channel, I put that analysis packet that I showed you at the very beginning here. Then 2 supplementary articles that go along with the source A, and then the PowerPoint that I stole from another teacher that talks about like the themes that have been identified and everything and how they're apparent in all of these. So this is the material that we're going to use to start diving into source A next week. We'll do it at 4 p.m. It'll be here. I'm going to take the recording of this session and I'm going to put it here and in the course's media gallery. I'm just going to name it like Performance Task 2 Frequently Asked Questions and Tips or something like that.
Now, do we get source A next week when we do it, or how can are we able to access source A early right now? Like, where do we find that exact source that you were holding up in your hand?
Yeah, you should have. I gave it all to you guys. Here's the other handout. Make sure that is pinned. Yep, that one's pinned already. All right, so if you go up to the pinned messages, you should have here. Oh, wait, no.
Which one is it titled? Because there's a lot of packets.
Yeah. Hold on.
I just want to know, like, which one is it? The one that you were holding up in your hand specifically on source A, like the text?
Yeah, I printed out. This is just the printout of just that one document.
Because if I can even print that out, that would be helpful, and I could read through it too to get an early understanding on it before the live lesson.
Well, yeah, that's what I want you guys to do. Hold on. Stimulus handout, that's not it.
Because, yeah, I see stimulus packet, stimulus handout, and then an understanding evolution, and then that one science article.
Yeah, this is what you want. I did post it at some point in the Discord, I just don't remember where.
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, this is the packet of all of the documents that the College Board released.
Nice. Okay. And then the first one will be addressing the one you were holding up. That will be for next week's live lesson that we'll break down.
Yes, the very first one starts on page 5 because there are a copy of the directions for Performance Task 2 in there as well. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So, any other questions before we all go play video games?
I wish I got geometry.
I did finally 100% both God of War and God of War Ragnarok this past week.
Nice.
Nice job.
Thanks.
One of my friends just got the God of War on PC. I'm not sure which one it is.
It's the 2018 God of War.
2018.
Yeah.
It looked like one of the older-ish kind of ones. Not too old, but
Yeah.
Well,
probably that
other than that, I don't really have any other questions. I'm excited to start working.
Alrighty. Get to
yeah,
it then.
I'll work as soon as I'm in the class.
Yeah, Robert, I'll
Yep.
get your grade issued this week, and so everything will show up on Tuesday. But
Okay.
you've got these documents here now. So if you
Yeah.
wanted to, chat
We
with
can
your
even
group
start.
about
Yeah,
topics.
I'm not. And remember, no one's going to be finished with all the week 1 stuff until after next week's live lesson, because
Right.
that the 4.03 and 4.04 do go over the live. After the live lesson, they're the quiz, and then that reflection or review thing, and that's going to be after we complete the live lesson for next week. So you're good to go until then.
And that live lesson is on Wednesday at
Yep, same time as today, except next Wednesday.
Yep, same bat time, same bat place.
Alright, I'll be sure to be there.
Cool beans. All right, gents, you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.
You too.
Awesome.
Thank
You have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.